Tonight on UCentral News. New on campus today, Brother Matt makes his day 2 return, what he's saying and how students are responding. Next, UCO is offering tax assistance ahead of the April 15th deadline. UCentral's Hannah Wagger has more on how you can get help. In social media, Kanye is setting records once again. Shanice Hopkins is standing by with today's social media update. Finally tonight, it's award season for Bronco Wrestling. Ian Nickel has the rundown of the awards given to the team.
Live from Central Oklahoma, this is UCentral News.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Georgia Jones.
And I'm Mark Lowe. Welcome to this edition of UCentral News.
Today, a certain protester is back on UCO's campus for a second day.
Matthew Borgald, or Brother Matt, has made his appearance this afternoon, which struck a crowd of students and a counter-protest.
UCentral's Sam Kozlowski and Isabel Contreras interviewed students on campus about the situation. Let's take a look.
These are awesome! Every last one of these students are perfect, bro! And they're perfect.
A controversial protester and evangelist known as Brother Matt stirred up commotion at the Nye University Center yesterday and today for his hateful preaching.
Today, I feel like campus, it's a lot of falsehood being sold to students as well as humans that are all equal. No matter if you're white, black, Jew, Gentile, crippled, crazy, blind, God loves us. And with him putting that message out, there's a lot of people that personally may suffer with personal issues that can trigger them and make them feel like God doesn't love them. I can't agree with that because everyone here has a purpose.
64-year-old Matthew Borgalt of Consuming Fire Campus Ministries in Kansas City, Missouri, travels to colleges around the nation proclaiming what he believes. These explicit remarks by Borgalt yesterday caused one student to stand up on a nearby ledge where she threatened to jump off if campus police did not arrive. Borgalt did not notify UCO events management. However, he cannot be removed from the campus since he is protesting in a free speech zone and his statements are protected by the First Amendment.
Sir over here said that we all know that Hunter Biden and Joe Biden are bad people, and I'm not saying if I agree or disagree. I just asked the question on, well, how do we know that he's a bad person? How can you prove it? And then he went on about sex and drugs, and UCO loves sex and drugs. So that's my answer for why we know Hunter Biden and Joe Biden are bad people, apparently.
Borgalt has done this around college campuses before, with some instances dating back to 2002 and a visit at Oklahoma State in 2010. In fact, he even filed a lawsuit against the University of Texas regarding his First Amendment rights. Unfortunately for Brother Matt, his case was dismissed. Will he be back for a third day in a row? Watch UCentral News at 4:30 to find out. Reporting in Edmond, Oklahoma, Sam Kozlowski, UCentral News.
Sam, and yeah, I stopped by during both of those days, and it was heating up. It was pretty intense.
Yeah, he's unfortunately in front of the Nye every single time I walk by to go get lunch. So I stopped for a few minutes just to listen and keep going on about my day. Yeah. And it was hot yesterday, and you could definitely tell today it was windy out there.
Yeah, absolutely. Gwyneth Duncan is going to have our preview of weather.
Thank you and good afternoon, Broncos. Looking outside right now, it's pretty hot. We're sitting at 78 degrees and mostly sunny. Those winds are really high though. We're sitting at south winds coming in at 26 miles per hour with gusts as high as 37 miles per hour. So it is really windy out there. I know I almost skipped my first class because of how windy it was, but I ended up going. But you may have felt that outside today just because of those really high gusts coming in. Our humidity is currently sitting at 65%, and despite those winds, our temperatures still do feel like 78 degrees. As we look at our allergy index, really it's not too bad except for the trees. We're sitting at moderate tree pollen outside. I know across campus currently the Bradford pears are blooming and they're smelling up campus. If you live on campus, you may have felt those allergies start to act up just because of that, and I know I felt it especially. So you might want to watch out for that tree pollen that's like moderately high right now. As we look ahead, we do have winds that are going to be high for the next couple of days, which is causing a fire weather hazard throughout the state for the next couple of days up until Wednesday, or up until Thursday, I believe. Our storm chances are going to be starting throughout the weekend, especially since spring is approaching. We're going to start to see more thunderstorm chances, and we do have a chance of hail and high winds. And then we do have a cold front moving in Sunday night, but that's all I have for you guys right now. I'll have your 7-day forecast and much more later in the show. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thank you, Gwyneth. Today, the Supreme Court has extended a temporary freeze on enforcement of the Texas state immigration law. SB 4 lets state police arrest and detain people they think have entered the U.S. illegally. The law would have taken effect on Wednesday, but now it will remain paused through Monday. The administrative hold gives the court additional time to review the case and does not necessarily signal which way the justices are leaning. Texas Governor Greg Abbott signed the law in December, sparking concerns of increased racial profiling, detentions, and attempted deportations by state authorities. Latinos represent 40% of Texas's population. The Biden administration and others fled an emergency application with the Supreme Court on March 4th, asking the justices to block enforcement of the law.
The 2023 tax deadline is steadily approaching. There is free assistance for UCO students in the Edmond community right here on campus. UCentral's Hannah Wagger has more details for us.
It's that time of year again, and no, I don't mean spring, I mean tax season. If you're anything like me and half of the Americans that file by the deadline, you haven't even started your taxes yet. Well, you might just be in luck because UCO offers a service that might be of help to you.
Figuring out how to complete your taxes can be a difficult and costly process. The increase in online services can be a great help, but online interfaces can sometimes make a difficult task even more frustrating. For those who don't have access to tax preparers or can't afford to, this program may be able to help.
The VITA program is an IRS program that prepares and files returns for low to middle income taxpayers.
The goal of this program is to give taxpayers access to assistance they would otherwise be unable to receive. Additionally, the program also offers free services to UCO students, faculty, and staff regardless of income.
All the returns are prepared by the students who get college credit, plus it counts towards their credit hours they need for their CPE course.
In order to volunteer with the VITA program, students must have taken prerequisite courses and undergo an interview process through UCO, as well as pass multiple IRS tax preparation tests. The program acts as a resource for both the volunteers and the taxpayers, but with deadlines quickly approaching, they can only help so many people.
Later in the tax year, it gets busier and busier each progressive day that we're open, especially in March.
The program operates on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays during designated hours in the UCO College of Business.
If you want VITA or the UCO VITA to prepare your taxes, you need to go out to the website, fill out the forms, come by and get in line to have your returns done.
Now is the time to start tracking down that paperwork because the deadline to file is Monday, April 15th.
So make sure you get those taxes turned in on time. For UCentral News, I'm Hannah Wagger.
Thank you, Hannah. One of the biggest volunteer opportunities for UCO students is just a month away. UCO will be having their annual Big Event on April 6th, starting at the Nye University Center parking lot. Big Event is a student-led project that reaches out to the community through acts of service such as yard work and picking up trash. Volunteers will be split into groups to work around the community from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. To volunteer, go to the UCOR website and click on the Big Event volunteer sign-up page and reserve your spot. The applications close March 15th. And if you plan to go at all to check those out, you might want to take a look at the weather.
Yeah, absolutely. It's fluctuating constantly. So after the break, make sure to check in with Gwyneth Duncan with our full look at weather.
Happy birthday! Make a wish.
Miss you guys.
Blue skies smiling at me, talking about blue skies. Do I see bluebirds singing a song, talking about blue skies from now on?
When it comes to making plans, you are the best. What about those barbecues you plan in detail for your family? Or your daughter's first costume party? It was out of this world. The same way you plan each detail for those moments, start planning to protect you and your loved ones from a natural disaster. Sign up for local weather and emergency alerts. Prepare an emergency kit and make a family communications plan. Protecting your family is the best plan you can make.
you need to do something to feel okay to drive, you're not okay to drive. Don't drive buzzed.
Are you really sure this is all going to fit? Oh, it'll fit. I got that. All right.
When hauling anything, ensure it's secure. Losing your load is dangerous for all drivers. We want everyone to make it home safe. Help make Oklahoma safe by securing your load.
Welcome back, Broncos. And looking outside right now, like I mentioned, it is very sunny, it is very hot, but those winds are coming in pretty high. As we look at our statewide temperatures, we're sitting at high 70s, even into 80s across the state. We do have 78 in OKC, so it is feeling like a pretty nice day, just aside from those winds like I talked about earlier. As we go into tonight, our lows are going to be 56 degrees, and it's still going to be clear, and our winds are not going to leave. We're sitting at south winds at 13 miles per hour with gusts as high as 20 miles per hour, so those gusts are still staying overnight. It is going to be pretty windy tonight, and since it is going to be 56, it might feel a little bit colder than it actually is outside as you step outside tonight. As we look across the state, just like I mentioned, we're sitting at 57 degrees, high 50s, low 40s. It's a roller coaster across the state, but we're sitting at pretty okay temperatures out there for now. And then as we look ahead at our temperatures, we're going to have winds that are going to be high the next couple of days, which will cause a fire weather hazard. And then we are going to have some storm chances that will last throughout the weekend. It is a low chance, but then those storms also could just pop up at any time. It is Oklahoma, so you don't know what's going to happen. And we do have a cold front that's going to move in Sunday night that's going to bring a little bit of colder temperatures at nights especially. And then our temperatures are going to go back up to what they were now, so we're just going on that roller coaster of Oklahoma weather. As we look at tomorrow across the state, we're having pretty high temperatures, 80 degrees in OKC, but it is going to be very windy, similar to today. As we look at our 7 a.m. in Edmond, we're looking at 58 degrees and really windy. And then at noon, it's going to go to 70 degrees. So our temperatures are going to be pretty nice tomorrow. It's going to be windy. It's going to be sunny outside. Speaking of sunny, as we look at our UV index, as it starts to go up, you're going to want to start wearing sunscreen. And our UV index is going to peak tomorrow at 2 p.m. sitting at a 6. So you are going to be wanting to wear sunscreen. It is a good day to tan tomorrow if you're planning on tanning at all, but you will want to wear some sunscreen for tomorrow's sun. And then as we look at our 7-day forecast, like I mentioned, tomorrow it's going to be very windy, 80 degrees, and then we do have 20% chances of rain after 1 p.m. for the next couple of days. So we are going to start to see that, and then our temperatures are going to drop down, and then they're going to start going back up throughout the rest of the week. And that's all I have for you guys right now. I'll have the rest later. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thank you for that, Gwyneth. It's definitely looking like it's going to be a fun weekend.
Yeah, absolutely. I am really getting used to all these fluctuating temperatures. I'm checking my weather app. It seems like every 3 hours. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Remember last week the storm chances were higher. They're about like 60% for severe weather, and now they're back down. Yeah,
so,
they're
back 20.
I mean, on the plus side, that's good, but
feels like Oklahoma.
Absolutely. Roller coaster temperatures all over. Thank you again, Gwyneth. Coming up next, discover which artist has claimed the #1 spot on the Billboard charts.
And a new movie has started production this week. Shanice Hopkins will have more after the break.
I was raised to believe in the power of possibility, to always move forward but never forget where I came from, to value hard work, ingenuity, and hospitality. On one hand, my people are rough and rugged. On the other, refined and elegant. They taught me how to love beautiful things and cherish my past, to seek out adventure, eat well, and to have a good time. So I keep their traditions alive every place I go. They call me Oklahoma City, but you can call me the modern frontier.
UCentral News as a whole. You got to be in those different areas, like being on camera, being off camera, being in the control room. And so I feel like that is what prepared me most about being in the workplace.
UCentral and the Mass Comm department has provided me all the tools and the fundamentals that are needed in order to thrive well and thrive fast at my job.
Maybe it's time to hit the road and visit a place where stories unfold. This is the land of the ultimate road trip, with sights old and new on Route 66. There's fun to be had, so much to do, and a few new surprises before you get through. Oklahoma has the most miles to share of Route 66. It's really quite rare. TravelOK.com will show you the way. Come see for yourself this iconic highway.
Today. In music news, Kanye West and Ty Dolla $ign's Carnival secures the #1 spot on the Billboard for Hot 100. This means that Ye is now the first rapper to have ever topped the Hot 100 in 3 distinct decades, the 2000s, 10s, and 20s. The duo recently dropped a music video for the track yesterday, and it's already at 1 million views. This month has been filled with historic moments in the music industry, and there's plenty more to come. Speaking of first, Beyoncé reveals the title of her new country album, Act 2, Cowboy Carter. The title was revealed on her website along with details on a limited edition CD, vinyl, and box set release. Act 2, Cowboy Carter arrives March 29th and is the second album in her 3-act project. And finally, Ari Aster has assembled a star-packed cast for his next film, Eddington, for A24 Studios. This film will star Joaquin Phoenix, Pedro Pascal, Emma Stone, and Austin Butler. Details are still under wraps, but we do know production was confirmed to start this week. Ari Aster is known for his work in movies like Hereditary and Midsommar, so we can only expect this movie to have an uneasy feeling. And that's all I have for you guys today. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I make liking scary movies a big part of my personality trait. Do you guys like scary movies at all?
Oh, absolutely. I am a big scary movie advocate, so connoisseur that too. Yeah,
yes.
I definitely love them a lot. What's your favorite scary movie, if I must ask?
So I think I'm gonna say Get Out, best movie of all time. But I am a huge fan of A24 movies like Hereditary and Midsommar for sure.
Yeah, Hereditary definitely was one of the first films I saw in like most recent years to actually make me gasp while watching. So
and A24's been coming out with some good
shows
and
they
movies
really
recently.
They
They've been
make
doing really good as of late. Well, thank you so much, Shanice. And coming up in sports, baseball is back in action tonight against a conference rival.
And the UCO wrestling team picked up some awards. Find out which ones after the break.
Feel the beat of nature at a park or forest near you. Find a forest and music inspired by nature at discovertheforest.org.
If you need to do something to feel okay to drive, you're not okay to drive. Don't drive buzzed.
Hey Bronco Nation, let's talk some sports. Leading off, the 18-5 UCO Broncos baseball team are back in action tonight, taking on their rival, the Northeastern State Riverhawks. The Broncos faced the Riverhawks a total of 3 times this year, the first being tonight at the top of the hour, March 26th in Tahlequah, and April 9th back here in Edmond. Game time is once again at 5 p.m. and streaming on the MIAA network. On to the wrestling mat, the Bronco wrestling team took all the hardware from the MIAA end-of-season awards. Head honcho Todd Steidley took home Coach of the Year honors. 197-pounder Dalton Abney won Wrestler of the Year for the conference, and 184-pounder Garrett Wells won Freshman of the Year. You can see Abney, Wells, and the rest of the Broncos in search of back-to-back national titles starting this Friday in Wichita, Kansas. To the ice, the UCO Broncos hockey team's quest for a national title is over. Last night in St. Louis, the Chos fought valiantly against the UNLV Rebels, but couldn't skate past them as the Rebels won 6-4 in the national semifinals. The Broncos finished the year with a record of 26-8-2 on the year. Congrats to them on an excellent season. Now to the historic Jim Norick Arena. The small school state basketball tournaments wrapped up this weekend, and UCentral's Mark Lowe brings us a recap of the 6 title games.
It's the promised land of every coach and player in 4A and below. Every bus ride, every halftime speech, every buzzer beater, it all leads here. Welcome to the Big House.
Starting out the day, Bethany looks to go back-to-back against Lincoln Christian in a rematch of last year's women's 4A finals. Keziah Lofton picks up the loose ball and gets the easy jump shot for the Broncos. Lincoln Christian responding, Hallie Kitchen with a pass to Audrey Hopkins underneath for an easy 2 for the Bulldogs. But the Broncos would not be taken over. Kaiten Donley with the drive to the basket. She had 17 on the day and helped push the Broncos past the Bulldogs to go back-to-back with a dominant 48-28 win. Over to the 3A Boys Championship, Oklahoma Christian School taking on the defending champion Millwood Falcons. It was a physical game, starting with Millwood's Chris Clay with a beautiful 3-pointer from the Falcons, but OCS responded fast. Junior Insignaba with a 3 to push OCS to the 31-15 lead at the half. Chris Clay out of the half for Millwood with another 3 to keep the Falcons in it, but OCS's Luke Gray had none of that, hitting a 3 of his own from the corner. He had 22 points on an astounding day for him. Millwood isn't out of it just yet. A missed shot from Ben Ramsdale gets rebounded by Jeff Huffmeyer for the quick 2, but it was not enough, and the fourth quarter comeback falls just short as OCS takes the 3A boys title 55-50. Time for the 2A women's game between Dale and Merritt. A slower game to be sure, but still a good one as Marley Mong seeks one from deep to start the day off. Wasn't long before Addison Hartman found some rhythm too, driving to the basket for the quick jumper, but the Pirates responded fast. Teague Muncie played physical all game and got a great layup here, and she said one wasn't enough and got another to keep the Lady Pirates in the game late, but it just wasn't enough and the Lady Oilerettes complete the run. Second block of games started with a 4A boys title between Douglas and Weatherford. Highest scoring game of the day starts out with CJ Nixon. Bomb from the corner to get the Eagles off to a good start. Nixon with the most points on the day with 26, but here's Douglas's Jaden Nickens, the Oklahoma commit, so you better remember his name, makes a physical drive to the basket for 2, and he's also a deep threat, sinking this ball in for 3 from deep. Eagles responding though, Nate Rayerman with a little step back 3 to keep the pressure on, and Ethan Sage picking up a loose ball and taking it the distance, slamming it down to head into overtime. Jaden Nickens would not be denied, and he says, that's cool, I can do it too. And Douglas gets the big time win 72-69 over Weatherford. 3A women's game, Battle of the Warriors featuring Ida Bell and Washington. Another high-scoring affair started out with a deflected pass and quick pass from Mercedes Lopez to Jalen Cothran. Another one to remember in this game to give Ida Bell the early lead. A little repeat in the second quarter from Kelby Beller of Washington, who was able to find the opening and get the jump shot and get Washington the 2-point lead headed into the half. Right out of the gate, Beller finds Brianna Lindert for an easy 2 to give Washington momentum coming out of the half, but it wouldn't last long. Cothran hit a series of 3s to get Ida Bell on top of Washington as time expired, and they take the title 64-56. Finally to the last one of the day, Dale taking on Pecola for the 2A title. Quick jumper from Easton Edmondson to start out the night to give Dale a fast lead, but Austin Hardwick one-ups him with a quick 3 before half to bring it within 5, but Dale would not be denied as OU commit Dayton Forsyth gets a hard 2 points with the jumper and gives us his best SGA impression, driving and step back jumper to give Dale its 3rd straight title with a 63-38 win. A long day at the Big House that saw dreams become reality finally comes to a close. From the historic Jim Norick Arena at the Oklahoma City Fairgrounds, for UCentral News, I'm Mark Lowe.
Thank you so much, Mark. Congrats to all those state champions. Finally, the Thunder are back in action tonight in the 405, taking on Tyrese Halliburton and the Indiana Pacers. The Pacers entered tonight's game with a record of 36-29, good enough for 7th in the East. The Thunder remain at the top of the Western Conference with a record of 45-19. The previously mentioned Halliburton and the Thunder's SGA will be a very exciting matchup tonight. Expect a high-scoring affair from these two teams. Game time is tonight at 7 p.m. on Bally Sports Oklahoma. I'm super excited for this Thunder-Pacers matchup. I'm going to watch it after going to the UCO baseball game tonight. That starts in just a few minutes. Mark, Georgia, this Thunder game is going to be one you don't want to miss. Back to you two at the desk.
Thank you, Ian. And it is definitely not going to be one that you want to miss. Again, they play at 7 tonight, and it's going to be kind of cool out there.
Yeah, absolutely. They've had an exciting season so far. Yeah, we're absolutely going to be watching the weather, though, because that wind and all those dropping temperatures, it's fluctuating all the time.
Absolutely. After this break, Gwen Duncan will have our last look at weather, so stay with us.
Feel the beat of nature at a park or forest near you. Find a forest and music inspired by nature at discovertheforest.org.
If you need to do something to feel okay to drive, you're not okay to drive. Don't drive buzzed.
A week-long immersive leadership experience is coming back around this year. Applications for the Leaders Shape Institute are now open. The program will be from May 14th to May 17th. It will include a wide range of activities that are intended to help students grow as a student, leader, and individual. All transportation, lodging, and food will be provided free of charge, and the applications will close March 22nd. So if you're going to be headed out there, you definitely need to be checking weather, though.
Absolutely. Like we've been talking about all the show, it is a roller coaster out there whenever it comes to those temperatures and weather, and it's Oklahoma on top of it all. We're going to go to Gwyneth Duncan for our last look at weather. Gwyneth?
Thank you. And looking at Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, we have a 20% chance of rain after 1 p.m. Those will include thunderstorms, hail, and some wind. So there could be a chance that you could see some damaging winds out there. And then we are getting a cold front coming in Sunday night into Monday. As you can see, the temperatures drop down to 50s pretty quickly, and that'll feel pretty chilly and not that fun out there because I am not a fan of the cold. But I am excited for that rain, though. Do you guys enjoy the rain at all?
Yeah, I'm definitely a rain guy during the spring for sure. You know what they say, April showers bring May flowers, and I love thunderstorms. I'm Oklahoman, so it's just part of that.
Yeah, I would say warm rain is probably my favorite, but yeah, I enjoy the rain. But
absolutely.
Thank you so much, Gwyneth. But yeah, thank you guys so much for tuning in for this episode or this edition of UCentral News. I'm Georgia Jones,
and I'm Mark Lowe. Again, thank you so much. Have a good night.